Things were good. There was nothing wrong with my job. There was nothing wrong with my life. I had a car. I had a good living situation. I was not in a bad position at all. Things were good. Hey guys, it's Charly. Today I wanted to share with you guys my story of how I started living abroad and why I moved abroad in the first place. If any of you guys have been with me for a while, you know that I used to live in Korea. That was my first place that I lived abroad, and I've been living abroad since 2010. So it's 2018 now, and I'm still abroad. And I don't have any plans of going back to live in the US for a long time. But you never know. Things could change in an instant, and you just never know. But at the moment, I have no plans of moving back. To get this started, why did I move abroad? And how did this all come to be? So my first flight ever, I believe, was in the beginning of 2010. I did a mission trip to Costa Rica. That mission trip lasted for 2 weeks, and it was with a church that I had attended in Costa Mesa, California. That was a quick trip that was not considered for me kind of like travel trip. It was more of like service and working with an orphanage, and it wasn't really travel for me. So I'd never considered that travel. And I guess to this day, I still don't. Even though I did take a flight. That was my first flight ever. And that was actually the only reason I got my passport. When I got my passport, I really didn't have the intention of traveling. I got this passport just to do this mission trip, and I wasn't even thinking it was going to turn into this long, drawn out experience. And not drawn out in a bad way, but in a good way. Travel changed my life, and it is a reason why I am who I am today and the person that I became, and I'm so grateful for that. So to keep the ball rolling, because I'm really bad at telling stories, so I had a roommate from college. She messaged me after like a while of not talking to each other, and she was like, "I'm in China." And I was like, "What? No way. What are you doing in China?" And this was in 2010. She messaged me and she was like, "I'm teaching English here. I am living in a place and I have a school that I'm teaching for, and everything is good here, you know." And she thought that she would reach out to me because she knew that when we were roommates, I was studying Korean. I was really into Asian culture. I wanted to learn about different cultures and languages. I was really into languages. And so she remembered that, and she was letting me know, you know. And she told me, you know, like, "Hey, if you want to come out, you're more than welcome to come. You can stay with me. I can help you get a teaching job if you want to work with my company, or I can help you find another company." And I was like, "What? No way." Like, I know someone in a foreign country in Asia, because I was really into Asia. I actually wanted to originally study Chinese first, but I switched to Korean because I heard that it was easier, and it definitely is. So when I received this message, I was just like so in shock, and I was excited because I was like, when am I gonna have a friend living in another country telling me like, "Hey, you know, you can come, I can help you." And you keep in mind, I never lived abroad. If you told me this now, I'd be like, okay, I can just move to another country easily. I don't need help, you know. But I had never lived abroad. I never thought about it, but I was into learning about other cultures and languages, and I was so like excited because I never even heard about teaching abroad. So I started looking into it, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna take you up on that offer. I'm gonna jump right in. So I jumped into this. I had been working for a medical group, paging doctors for pretty much like nurses and things like that. You know, when a doctor needs to do something, you have to page them on a pager. And I don't know how it is now, but they used to use Blackberries back then. And I had been working there for 4 years. Things were good. There was nothing wrong with my job. There was nothing wrong with my life. I had a car. I had a good living situation. I was not in a bad position at all. Things were good, and there was really nothing to complain about. But During this time, I got the message from my friend. So I jumped right in. I let my job know that I had been working with for 4 years. I gave them a notice and let them know, hey, I'm gonna live abroad. I'm gonna go teach for about a year. And they were very supportive of that because I had a good relationship with my boss. And she was very supportive, and she gave me the time I needed to do my 1 month, like the final ending. And I booked my flight. I started looking into the TESOL certificate to teach abroad. And she had also told me about her friend who was studying online. And so I was in the middle of my degree. And I had only completed 2 years of my bachelor's degree. And so I was looking online for my TESOL certificate. I started the process for my TESOL certificate, and then I had booked my flight, and I was ready. Like, I was in this. I was fully committed to moving abroad, and there was nothing that was going to stop me until I received a message 2 weeks before my flight saying, hey, Charly, I'm not going to be able to help you come here. I can't help you with a place to stay anymore or finding a job. I can't help you with anything. She completely bailed on me. And there was no excuse in the book that correlated to the situation. Nothing in the world was making any sense. And I was pretty much alone. Like, I felt like I had been dropped on the face of the earth. I felt like I was already in China and just stranded because this was my first time ever taking the plunge to move abroad. And I was like, I don't know Chinese. I don't know where to go, like what to do, who to call. This was like pulling a fish out of water. I was just flopping around like, what am I going to do? So I took a moment and I was like, okay, you know what? What do I want to do? I know I for sure want to move abroad. Like, that has not changed. But I had to ask myself, do I really want to go to China? And the answer was no. I was only going to China because my friend was in China and she was offering me to go there. But in reality, I was in that moment studying Korean. I really wanted to move to Korea and learn Korean and learn about the culture. So I started researching, and I found out that in order to go to Korea, you needed a degree. And I was only done with 2 years of my degree. And I was like, shoot, there has to be a loophole. There has to be. So I kept searching and searching, and I found one loophole. It was the talk program, and they allowed you to teach in Korea through a government program with 2 years of your university degree completed. And I was like, yes, I'm going to jump in this. I applied and I got in. And that was how I got my way to Korea. So during that time, I was completing my TESOL certificate. I was like, I'm going to do this. I seriously completed it probably within a month. I was always like, since I was taking calls, in between calls, you could just sit there and you're just waiting on a call. So in between that, I was doing my TESOL certificate, and I was always working on that. And then I was also thinking about transferring to an online university. So I looked into different universities, and I decided to go to Ashford University. It's an online university, and I transferred all my courses from all of my other schools, 3 other schools that I had previously attended, to this online school. And I also changed my major to English Language Learner Studies. And I wasn't for sure if teaching was going to be something that I did forever, but I knew that it was a way to travel. And it's probably not the best reason to change your major, but I was like, I could foresee myself living abroad for a while. And while this probably isn't my life passion, this is something that I think is the direction I want to go in. So I changed my major. I transferred all of my credits to an online university. I got into the program that I wanted in order to move to Korea, and the whole process started from there. So I documented my whole journey on my YouTube channel, and even from the lows of my friend bailing on me. So update on my travel journey, and I was gonna go to China. I actually should have been there already about 5 days ago, but my friend emailed me 2 weeks before my flight saying that she cannot help me with my plans to travel to China. Hey guys, so while I'm editing this, I'm looking at the video from 2010, and the way that I remember it today and the way I've been telling it ever since is so different from what I'm saying in the video. So pretty much I'm sitting outside of the post office in my hot car, and I have my letter to the talk program, which has all the documents that they require for me to send. And she had a backup job in China for me if I didn't get the talk program. So now I'm realizing I've been telling this story the wrong way. I thought I applied to the talk program after she bailed on me. I cannot remember the story correctly. I cannot believe watching this. I've been telling the story wrong the whole time. I spent $757 on the flight and lost about $300. So now I'm waiting on the talk program to find out if I got the talk program. All the way to the highs of when I arrived to Korea and all the things that I saw that were so different from where I came from. That experience in itself was such a life-changing experience. I grew so much in Korea. I'm getting like emotional thinking about it. So much happened in Korea that made me who I am today, but that only was possible because I didn't let one obstacle or a few obstacles stop me. From what I thought was a friend bailing on me, to not having my degree and thinking I can't do this, to being able to do it all on my own. And that's what travel has taught me, is that I can depend on myself. And that sometimes you feel like you might need someone to help you get somewhere, or you need this one thing to get to this thing, but there's always a loophole. There's always a way to reach your goal. I learned how to depend on myself, but I also learned how there are people out there. I've met so many amazing people on my journey who have changed my life, who have opened my eyes to new possibilities and ways of thinking and living. And this whole experience in itself was only supposed to be a one-year experience. I moved abroad thinking, okay, I'm gonna move abroad and teach for a year, and that was it. And it turned into this whole 2010 to now it's 2018, and here I am. Now I'm in Vietnam, but I'm still living abroad. I'm not teaching like I had planned, but teaching is always gonna be a part of me because I think I'm a natural teacher. And that's something that my mom saw in me from a very young age. She always used to tell me, "You're such a teacher," and I would be like, "No." And I never, I never thought of myself as a teacher until I did start teaching. And then I realized, even through my YouTube channel, I am teaching. And I got my degree. I got my degree while I was living in Mexico. Hey guys, it's Charly, and today I'm at my university, and my graduation is tomorrow, and today is actually the first day that I've ever been to my university, which is pretty funny. Over there is my university sign. I just graduated! Yay! So I got my bachelor's at Ashford University in English Language Learner Studies. So I have my degree now. Yay! I worked for 7 years for this. If you have any goals that you really want to accomplish, continue to work towards them and continue to stay focused on what it is you want and the goals that you have for yourself. Don't let other people talk you down or tell you that you can't do it. You only have pretty much yourself to be able to get to those goals. And I know a lot of people have family support and friend support, which is great, but you have to remember that all you need is yourself to be able to accomplish those goals, because sometimes there will be people who, even the people who are supportive of you, they may forget to keep your best interest in mind and forget to motivate you, but you have to learn to be self-motivated. The time is going to pass whether you reach your goal or not. A lot of people think, oh, it's going to take me 4 years to get my degree, or it's going to take me 5 years, or it's going to take me 7 years. You know, I was sitting next to a girl who it took 11 years for her because she got her AA, then she got another type of teaching certificate that took her a little longer, and then she got her BA, which altogether led up to 11 years. And I was thinking, wow, I did 7 years and I was trudging along and she did 11. And, you know, no matter how long it takes you, the time is going to go by anyway. So after living in Korea, it turned into a year and a half. In 2 days, it's my 1 year anniversary in Korea. My towel, these are little towels. These are the size of the towels in Korea. They're like half the size of a regular towel. My camera that I used to use and my cell phone box. Lastly, this is my bed. I first signed a year contract and then I extended to 6 months. So I lived for a year and a half in Korea. Then I ended up moving to Mexico for a year.
Hey guys, it's Charlie, and today I'm at Palenque, and these are ruins that are located in Chiapas, and I'm going to show you guys around.
And that was an amazing experience altogether. I moved back to Korea for another 2 years, and then I traveled around for a bit to other countries, all in between all of that. And now I've been living in Vietnam for almost a year and a half, and time has flown by so fast. Now I'm happy to be here in Vietnam because I have a change of food, and it's actually a different change of pace too. It feels a lot different, and I'm actually very happy here in Vietnam. In this time, I have really learned to really just appreciate each moment and to learn with the process and the experience, and that there's no obstacle that can keep you from what you want. And if it's something you really want, really go for it. If any of you guys are out there thinking, it doesn't even have to be about travel, but if there's something you want to do and you feel like there's this one thing keeping you from it, keep working at it, keep striving for it, and do things each day that are going to help you get to your goal. Because that's what I did. Every day I was working on my TESOL certificate. I was researching about living abroad and what I need and all of that stuff. Maybe you're watching someone like me who has been living abroad for a while and you think you need me in order to help you do it, and you don't need me. I do Skype consultations if anyone does need help, but you don't need me, and I'm going to tell you that from the beginning. I do help guide people, but you can do it yourself. Even if it's not travel related, I don't know, whatever it is, anything you want to do, you can do it. And even though you don't need people, people are going to be there to help you along the way. Like I said, even though I did this, I moved abroad kind of on my own. Along the way, there have been angels in disguise who have helped me along the way too. You know, like, even though you don't need anyone, it's nice to have people to depend on and count on. And sometimes you're not going to be able to depend or count on people, and sometimes you are. And people are going to shock you. There are people out there who are so amazing and who are going to change your life, and you're going to look back and be able to tell amazing stories. And I'm just really happy with my travel experience, and I'm so glad that I didn't let a few obstacles stand in my way, because if I had, I probably would have been in another place. And I'm sure that place would be nice and good, and I would have grown from there. But I'm really happy with my life and the way it turned out. And I'm so glad I didn't give up on what I wanted. And eventually what I wanted changed. You know, we evolve, we grow, we think we want one thing, and that changes. And it's okay. It's okay to change your mind. It's okay to grow and evolve. Maybe you start out thinking, I want to live in this country. And then you get there, and then it turns out to be something that you didn't want. And you're like, okay, you know what? I'm going to go to another place. Or maybe you decide, you know what? This is great, but I'd rather be back home. And that's okay. Like, at least you did something. At least you tried something new. And that's like the whole purpose of life, is to get out of your comfort zone, to learn, to experience, and to grow, and to learn more about yourself. And that's what this whole experience has taught me. It has taught me so much about me and my drive to succeed and to learn and to explore and to grow. And if anything, I'll take that. I'm sure I'm missing something from my story, but I think you guys get the gist of it. Keep going for what you want. Don't let the obstacles stop you, and just keep learning and growing, because life is beautiful and amazing, and Sometimes, you know, you have the bad times, but the good times definitely overdo the bad. To end this video, keep moving forward, keep striving for whatever it is you want, and always be ready for whatever comes your way, because that's another thing. I've learned so many things with travel, like I could go on forever, is that just be ready for things to just fall apart because you just never know. And it's okay. You're gonna get through it. And that's what I learned, is you will get through it. You can move abroad by yourself. And for those of you who are scared to take that plunge, you will be able to do it. And the big thing is just booking the flight. Save the money, book the flight, get there, and you will figure it out. Like, that's pretty much how it has been for me. And I'm so grateful for that. So, with that being said, thank you guys so much for watching, and if you're new to my journey, welcome. And for those of you who have been around for a long time, thank you for sticking around. Be sure to like the video if you enjoyed this little look inside how this got started. If you guys are interested in any Skype consultations, be sure to check the link to my website in the description box. I offer Skype chats for those of you who need guidance on working, teaching, or living abroad. And just if you want to chat one-on-one. Anyway, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye. Thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure to like the video and subscribe if you haven't already. I want to give a special shout out to my patrons. Thank you guys so much. And if you would like to become a patron on Patreon, be sure to check the link in the description box. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.